Hello and welcome back to another game review for MPL Philippines Season 16. For everything else, I just want to say, number one, shout out to my fellow Filipinos who took to the streets in protest of all the corruption going on in the country, saying to the world and to our government that we have had enough and we are sick of it. I'm grateful for all of you who decided to go out and march and protest and rally. Big W all around. And secondly, thank you to everyone in the international community who send their well wishes. I received a few messages on Instagram, Facebook out of nowhere. People telling me, praying for my safety and for the country's safety as well. I did not expect those really sweet messages to come in from all y'all. So thank you. I wish you all the best. And please pray for my countrymen, my country. And I'm going to keep praying for all y'all's out there to everyone in the world. I love you guys. Let's head into this one. All right. So Team Onic Philippines versus Onic. As always, I want to start things out in the draft. I have to address some things I mentioned on broadcast. Number one, I mentioned, and you'll hear it later when we play the audio of it, something about the matchup between the 1-1 and Lunox. After a little bit more testing, I have learned, or at least figured it out for myself, that the scenario that I said that there is a chance that 1-1 can give Lunox a hard time in lane, popping Inspire early on level 3, it's actually really freaking hard to do. I don't know why I had a memory of that's difficult, because I remember I faced off 1-1 against Lunox in lane before and then I got pushed back. Maybe it just goes to it's a testament to my quality as a gold lane Lunox, but after a little bit more testing, it's so difficult to push the Lunox out from within the range of the minions. As long as the minions are around Lunox, she can just use her first skill to deal really good damage to the 1-1 and get health back very quickly. So no wonder revisiting this match, Oheb was constantly pushed in towards his tower by Kelra, and why Oheb was taking a lot of care, because the hypothetical situation that I said is actually really hard to do. That's on me. I think it's just really been a while since I had a 1-1 Lunox matchup personally, and after being able to play it again, now I learned. So, seems like that's something we have to watch out for in the future. That there might be teams who will pick this more if this two are in the lineup. But I think having Lunox versus multi-core, or let's go multi-carry, is way too hard. It's interesting because I get where Onic are coming from building around this Lunox. Whether or not it was part of the plan from the beginning, they were willing to give the 1-1 because they had the Lunox ready for them and they're confident in that lane matchup. It's interesting because, okay, when you have a multi-carry setup against this kind of lineup, Lunox can only do so much to take one out. And at the same time, while answering the Uranus. So you're trying to answer the Kimmy, you're trying to answer the 1-1, everything, staying alive. That the rest of the pieces of Onic might not survive long enough for Kelra and King Kong to do a lot of the damage work, because you also have the crossbow of Tang to watch out. It's not like you have a quick nuke to the back to take the 1-1 out. The Juicin is playing for peel and utility, supporting these four in the lineup, so that we can just try to disrupt, maybe clean up if the Juicin built up a Sky Piercer or something, but it's just hard. I think in the laning matchup, deciding to pick up a Lunox into the 1-1, sure, all for that. I feel like if you're gonna pick the Lunox, this has to be a multiple carry setup that isn't just around the jungler as well. Gotta give it to Onic though. Having these three heroes, Khalid, Lancelot, Juicin, in the center of the map, gives them priority over the Franco, Kimmy, and the Yi Sun Shin. Because in Broken Walls, where they're playing, that's just so much room for Brusco to be a nuisance, Lance as well, even the Juicin, that as long as they're clearing waves fast, JP has a lot of work cut out for him to eventually try to level out the rotational speed that Onic has in the map, right? So in the big picture of it all, having the glue as the last pick, I approve, considering that they do need a very tanky front with the Khalid as their roamer. That's usually, again, one of the things you have to keep note of. If your roam equals pick off, go pick O. And then that means EXP should be put there tanky. Uh, or CC Lapu. Yeah, you could even count Fulvius. Because CC, you throw out the curtain call, Vengeance, you've done your job. Lapu Lapu, once you have the first two cooldown items, which is usually War Axe, Oracle, you act as like a tank anyway with your quick access to Land Shaker and the fact that Raging Slash hurts like a lot. And then, of course, we know what Fulvius can bring to the table, just going forward, jumping on everyone's heads, zoning out. Okay? Which is why we see that's the main trades right now in the EXP lane. Of course, alongside Uranus, because Uranus can get very overwhelming very, very quickly. So, one last thing to address before we head into the games is Onic decided to go for a JP and Sanford focused ban. Completing out the draft, they really hard focus on JP. That's 4 bans for JP. You could even make an argument that the Arlott is like a ban for JP, but this pick is usually a Sanford pickup. And then for Team Liquid Philippines, of course, they don't want to give Fanny to King Kong, despite it being broken walls. They don't want to give Keller the Harith because that's going to be an easy pick first 2 slots. If they're going to rush the 1-1, nah, that's not going to be it. And then, of course, with the recent changes to Angela, despite Angela getting some flack after Falcons picking it against Aurora, game number 3 in their series, either earlier in the week, day number 1 of week 5. Angela's just really freaking strong, guys, with the cooldown reduction. Like, her base cooldown now is like, what, 20, 30 seconds across the board, across all levels once she has her ultimate? That's insane. And then, of course, you want to take out the Granger so that it minimizes the reach, considering that they don't have any more room to pick up like a Farsa and an Eve. And then a good long-range marksman would have been fantastic for Onic, which is why they ended up picking the Lunox. And then the Lapu Lapu just taking away what could have been a very difficult scenario for Team Liquid Philippines to deal with. Ending up with the surprise last 2 picks. Okay, Kimmy not so much. Franco was a surprise for JP. And he did a really good job of messing up the map, as we'll see when we fast forward into the game. Here we are in the game. Get a big zoom in of the map. Purple buff start for both junglers. JP's going to be able to successfully disrupt King Kong here. Not by getting the buff, but by getting King Kong himself. That delays it. Brusco is delaying as well. But Sanji, or excuse me, Super Prince is deciding to help Brusco instead. As Sanji is helping Carl TZ get his buff safely. So that's a good delay to begin with for Team Liquid Philippines and JP. We're just gonna breeze through this. You see Brusco holding forward positioning in the bush so that if ever anyone in Liquid steps out, it'll be an easy in for Sanji and Brusco to get a lot of pokes in. JP continues to disrupt the farming rotation of King Kong. He even got to hook the Beetle away. Good delay. The EXP level ranking, you see there's a slight lead for Carl TZ, around 34%. Moving forward. I mean, as we go on. Debut picks, a lot of them for this series. So Brusco, debut pick on the Khalid. Funnily enough, that was his like M6 game-winning pick and roam. And then JP and the Franco, who will eventually get MVP honors here. Okay, they're gonna be managing middle minion wave, fast clear first, King Kong out. Good pokes in the center. Building them a little bit advantage. Forces the regen out of Carl TZ. Quick rotation downward. That's an assessment by Onic, knowing that there's a chance They can pick Sanford, who would want to get to this position to get information and help hold the line for his team. If ever Onic decides to get here. Onic does decide to go there. Sanford able to survive though. Good timing of the flicker. Good cover with the traction pulse. Unfortunately, the hook of JP didn't land. Mountain Shocker gets the info. But then Carl Teasy, slightly wrong pathing here. Decides to go here, even with Brusco here. And there was information that Brusco was here. I would have liked it if Carl Teasy went around the long way first. But I think at that point, Carl Teasy's already just thinking about, I gotta get there as quickly as possible so that there's a chance for me to retribution the turtle away. Remember the broken wall? There. Easy back and forth. And then with Carl Teasy spotted, Brusco decides to go forward with the enhanced basic attack after sandwalking, Desert Tornado. Onic just decides to collapse as Super Friends has Crimson Beacon up. It's a easy pick onto Carl. So you see Liquid now just playing for the hero trades. Fortunately, Kirk got the grab onto JP. And then Onic just decides to collapse. They get 3 and they'll still also be able to get 4 as Sanford wanted to see if he can disrupt. Good call by Onic to read the situation that, hey, we can't just let this Uranus do whatever he wants trying to take down King Kong. Go, respond, go for him. Even Super Friends let go a bit of his farm in mid and time clearing up mid so that they can ensure the kill onto the Uranus, which is a good decision by Onic. And during that time, you see what I'm talking about earlier at the top of the video about the Lunox and the Wan. So while everything is happening here, we'll go back up top. You see the health of Oheb just a little bit lower than Kelra. Watch the map and then watch the health bars. See, Oheb decided to push out as there isn't that many minions for Kelra to heal through. So hopefully you're just watching the map here. Hopefully in editing I can try to make it so that it's a bit closer. Watch the little dance between the two. Oheb goes back under tower. So he gets pushed out a little bit. Kelra delaying so that Oheb will get desperate to get closer. That's a lot of minions lost. Kelra commits his Chaos Assault. Brings Oheb down to 50%. Pops the regen. But Kelra's already controlling the waves to his liking. And there's already a clear level gap between Kelra and Oheb. So I guess that's something you can watch out for. If you're up against a 1-1, try picking up the Lunox. Be smart with managing your minion waves. If you're the 1-1 up against the Lunox, what you want is to only push when there's not a lot of minions for the Lunox to heal through with the first skill. And then if you're the Lunox, you want to play around the opposing minions going up against the 1-1 so you can quickly heal through and then just have health advantage during the duo. Fast forward a bit more and then you see Team Liquid Philippines are just conservative now with their rotations. They're just trying to get vision, trying to find those little inches of advantage as Onic Philippines now has a 2,300 gold lead. See the 1-1 has a 300 gold gap compared to the Lunox. Brusco is getting so much vision. 500 or so lead against the Franco. And then the Juicin has a good lead over the Kimmy, Lancelot over the Yi Sun-shin as well. So it was a big win for Onic. But the good thing about this meta is it's they made those adjustments in Project Next so that early game leads aren't as devastating as they could be because it's a little bit easier to make a comeback now and increases chances for comebacks happening. Again, the thing about the Liquid lineup that you have to remember is that it's a multi-core setup. It has multiple carries. It has 3 options for carry, so it takes a lot of time. It's greedy. See Kelra confidently just owning Oheb in lane. Got the Corrosion Scythe. He picked up, he popped Inspire. He already used his ultimate though. Let's see. He'll pop. I'm waiting for the Crossbow of Tang green light to come out. Okay. And then I believe at the same time, since you see here, Oheb green, Kelra green, that Keller just used Brilliance so that he wouldn't die to Oheb's crossbow. Keller forced the flicker out though, and that's the little bit of variance of error that we're talking about. But I guess Keller just managed lane really well. That Oheb struggled in the laning process. Fast forward a bit more, and as you see, Onic just continues their domination. Team Liquid Philippines, they're just waiting their time. Rightfully so, though. Onic are already pushing into the jungle of Liquid, trying to build advantage for Oheb by messing up Carl TZ to force reactions here. King Kong got to break the tower down bottom, leaving the Uranus stuck there. Sanford suffered his second death already. And this is where it all turns around, if I'm not mistaken, where Team Liquid Philippines were able to find the swing. So let's break this play down and see what happened. So Brusco decides to go in onto Carl TZ, who popped the Mountain Shocker for vision, but then he can still stun the opponents in an AoE. He decides to stun Brusco. JP decides to commit the Bloody Hunt onto the Khalid because they want to build an advantage around messing up the Khalid. But Kirk is coming in, Prince is here, Keller's going to be here as well. So let's see how Team Liquid Philippines decides to turn this around. Kirk being patient with it, trying to find displacement, but JP got the hook onto Super Friends. That hook solidified the win of Liquid here. Super Friends still has Crimson Beacon and he can flicker out. No more Bloody Hunt, the ultimate of the Franco for JP. But there's just so much crowd control locked down onto him that Super Friends wasn't even able to flicker an ultimate away. Kirk decides to go in and help out, but at that point, he got the grab onto Oheb. Oheb's just going to get away. Keller's going to end up getting left alone, forcing the Brilliance out, and eventually Liquid would be able to win this sequence, and through here, just begin their own process of taking control of the map, with JP getting the hook as well. That was really cool. I just want to go back and hear our reactions as well. Yeah. That was like that's what? 3 hooks by JP to turn things around. That is insane. Next major sequence, as they decided to commit the chase onto Kellera and Brusco can get here fast enough, Kirk is sustaining, they still continue the fight. King Kong's goes in, good use of the punctures. Oh, but then JP had the Winter Crown. That's where we lost our minds.
3 punctures in, make that 4, make that 5. He's gonna find JP with the Winter Crown. Saves him for a while. It seems like he's gonna be able to
the Winter Crown. I don't know why I blanked on that getting picked up. I was just looking at the micro of it all. But then when I saw that the Winter Crown popped up, I was like, what the hell? He had it? That's so smart. And rightfully well-deserved that JP won MVP in this game. And then from that one sequence alone, Onic just could not find the break against his Franco. Traction pulse in the mid. Onic will be able to zone out Liquid here and get priority. One man zone out by Kirk because they decided to send Carl TZ down to the bottom lane to farm instead. Sanford almost got caught, but he's able to dash away with the second skill. Brusco goes in. Raging Sandstorm flicker, smack dab in the face. So Onic needed to be aggressive here because they know Carl TZ is not in this sequence anymore. They know Oheb. Baby Cakes went to the side lanes to clear so that they can build advantage of the center of the map at least to rebalance the losses that they took in the last sequences. It's a good thing that Onic was able to get the turtle too so that keeps a little bit more edge for Onic. Fast forward then to the next big team fight. I think it has to be this one. Instantly getting the Bloody Hunt onto the glue along with the Iron Hook, and Kirk gets crowd controlled for so long just through the Franco. See here? Immobilized. Okay, he's suppressed. That's Bloody Hunt. He gets stunned because he gets hooked. Kirk gets the grab, but at that point, Sanji is already free hitting. Here comes Carl. Great stun, being able to stun Kellera. Lots of space for Sanji to be able to deal damage. As King Kong was managing the lane in the bottom, trying to spot out Carl, but then Carl decided to join in the fight here, and that is a win for Liquid as Onic lost their 2 main frontliners, meaning that they get advantage for the Lord. Good hold at the center and good hook yet again by JP. But Brusco with a really good Raging Sandstorm. Unfortunately for Onic, Oheb already got the max marks with the 1-1. Goes up in the air with the crossbow of Tang. Brusco takes the rest of it. But the team fight gets on a little bit longer. But Carl Tazzy also had a really good stun as well with the YSS. After that, the traction pulse forcing the reaction out of Kelra. JP tried to flicker hook forward, not getting anyone. But at that point, Team Liquid Philippines wins the engagement. And that's the difficult thing about the lineup that Onic decided to play into. If they don't have sheer total domination in the early game, once that 1-1 is ready to go alongside the YSS and the Kimi, it's so hard because you're going to be expanding or using so much resources just to try and deal with one carry when you have two more to deal with. That puts an insane amount of pressure onto King Kong, even Kelra. But we all know that the damage profile of the Lunox is so single target focused. I mean, same for the 1-1, but the difference in ultimates is Kelra's more AoE multi-damage ultimate is for safety. It's the brilliance is used to escape. It's used as a survival tool, while Oheb's crossbow of Tang, as we saw in the last sequence, gets one target down, that transfers onto the next, and even though it's single target, that's single target damage you can pass on to the rest of the team. So with those sequences, with those leads, Team Liquid Philippines just takes control of the map. See if there's any more big sequence. I think this is one of the last big fights. Trying to look for where it ends. I know this is a much longer game. You see how much difficulty Kelra is having with this 15 total deaths already in the map, and Kelra is only 0, 1, and 2. It's a tough game for Lunox. Again, good for the individual lane matchup. Good for the idea of trying to maybe handle the Uranus. But in the big picture of it all, Lunox is tough to make work here if Onic didn't get an insane snowball in the beginning. And surprisingly enough, despite them getting those 3 or 4 early deaths, that's not the insane snowball that they wanted. They wanted another big win right after that. So even then, so much resources were used to just take JP down. King Kong was set to the back, chasing after Sanji. But eventually, Carl TZ was able to maximize his stun as the Yi Sun Shin to stop King Kong. He continued to go forward. Double kill for Carl. And yeah, I think that's all pretty much all she... Oh wait, no, yeah, this is a pretty good play. Go back, let's go back. Alright, Carl TZ was able to get away from Kirk, avoiding getting grabbed. Kirk was left behind. Super Prince and Kelra trying to help out here. Look at the damage on Carl. Already used Traceless, that's why Super Prince decided to go forward. Carl got Prince, but King Kong eventually got Carl. Still a 4-man advantage here as Sanji is here, because again, multiple carries. There's 2 more carries you have to deal with. JP flicker hook forward. Bloody hunt, insane. Look what JP did. Look, flicker, bang. Oh my goodness. I even yelled out JP what? Insane. And all of that insanity was only game number 1. Eventually though, we'll get to see Onic Philippines slowly dissect and just dominate Team Liquid Philippines. Alright, here for the Game 2 draft, Onic decided to go for a Lancelot priority, and that's one thing that people online were giving Team Liquid flack for giving King Kong Lancelot 3 series in a row. And Carl TZ ending up, I believe he played 3 YSS games in a row also for this series. So TLPH rounded their draft off with a Granger, and honestly, this is good balance, but I feel like there's, for the lack of a better term, Team Liquid Philippines is lacking a punch, you know? Because if you look at the lineup of Onic, let's just look at it from the normies perspective, which includes myself. Lancelot, Farsa, Harith, Hilda, CC. If I see that in my rank game, no matter what freaking lineup I end up with, I'll be like, that's a lot of damage, man. That's That's rough, buddy. He's like, oh, how are we gonna deal with that? So, simple way to look at it is like the damage profile of Onic is devastating. That they can take control of this fast. While Team Liquid seem to play for what I would like to call like a little bit more control, you know? Khalid, yes, good damage early on, could pressure the Lancelot in the jungle. Kali, Juice, and Uranus, that three, when you think of those three, those are like great supports for the YSS. One way or another, these three feed the YSS, help him out with the support, drawing attention towards the center of the jungle, or considering that Onic Philippines might look at the jungle and see, there's not much we can do there with all that support, then they'll go to Granger. Meaning that Khalid and Juicin thus are now going to be playing for the Granger, leaving YSS to farm a little bit more. Okay, so it's a good spread of stability for Liquid. While the draft of Onic is just like, we go boom, we go fast. If you were expecting like really deep analysis for it, damage, bro. And then when you'll see it. You'll see it as we like look through the game. We all know like what Hilda can do with her kit, how much she hurts. We know how fast a Harith can scale considering you also have Inspire and the 5% shop reduction. Oheb playing for Assassin Emblem went for Thrill, Festival of Blood. Stanford not going for the Festival of Blood route for the Uranus, but actually going for the Tenacity route. Goes for movement speed, basic common emblem, typical. Sanji, see, conservative, but as usual, tenacity as well for the Juicin. While across the board, for Onic, it's just a bunch of things that do well with wanting to do more damage. While Team Liquid are a little bit more on a defensive hold mindset, just give time for baby cakes. And then they're gonna start being more aggro, while Onic can just play aggro, play fast early on. Good thing that JP and Sanji, though, were able to start things first off with a kill onto Super Friends. Super Friends is one of the, alongside the Hilda and their rotations, is one of the main conditions. So that's a one tick condition for Team Liquid Philippines.
For JP on this Kali, so that's
You see there, though, that as JP goes into the jungle to get vision, he's not getting stopped with hard crowd control. He's getting stopped with hard damage. So if he wants to invade and give vision against King Kong, he'll be taking a lot from the Hilda. Sanford and JP are playing for disruption as JP's already where King Kong is. That calls back Brusco, leaving Kirk to hold the turtle. Priority in the center of the map for Onic as Kelra and Oheb go down for double laning, but Super Friends is holding a very advantageous position for the feathered airstrike. So Super Friends' his hero control is around here, which is not good news for the members of Team Liquid, considering that their roamer is here right now, getting surrounded. Sanji is on this other side, not here holding. Okay, so we'll let the sequence play out.
the turtle. Yeah.
JP takes a lot. He's forced to flicker out. Sanford, rightfully so, doing what he's supposed to be doing, pushing back King Kong. Now you change your attention to the rest of the center of the map. Kelra decides to join in. Zaman forced defensively, but then look at Kirk, Brusco. Brusco decided to flicker forward, jumping right on Carl TZ right away. Didn't even maximize the damage of the second skill, just stunning him as soon as he can. That's big burst. Carl able to get away, but he's pushed back. King Kong's gonna be left here with the turtle. But their support for Super Friends, who held on to that feathered airstrike for so long, allowing King Kong to be able to secure this turtle, and Team Liquid Philippines being able, or Team Liquid Philippines having to go back. So we see there the strength of the lineup of Onic and the sheer damage that they have. I don't think Carl TZ even expected just how fast he'll go down in front of the Hilda and the CC. Super Friends is gonna get taken down here by JP again. Good positional read because Super Friends popped the feathered airstrike. They both had vision. Interestingly enough, I think it was either a miscom or it just wasn't marked. Cause I think Super Friends did get to see JP here in the map, but he still decided to commit the feathered airstrike when Oheb crossed. There, even did King Kong give the vision also? Sure, Super Prince knows. Here he sees him there, but I think he was locked in too hard onto Oheb that he just got punished. Or maybe he thought that he could get Oheb down. They did get Oheb down eventually. 2-for-1 trade. Delaying the farm, giving time for Keller. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Risky, but fine. At the end of the day, you get to push more farm onto the Harith as he's the one who's able to get more damage on the energy shielding. At the same time, you get you got the turtle earlier. Got a kill onto Oheb. But as you see here in the map, for the third time in a row, they'll be able to kill Super Friends very quickly. Sanji and Carl Tizzy working together here. And they read him. So, how did Onic make a comeback? How did they recover? Well, eventually it became a fight about the objectives. Or around the objectives. So, let's see how Onic will do it. Sometimes, the best CC games are the simplest ones. Wherein as long as you can get curtain call off onto the right targets, you've done your job. Don't need to live that long. Just help set up with the curtain call. Do what damage you can. If you're gonna pop the vengeance, do what damage you can. But they're not expecting you to always like live the longest. Just get that curtain call off and you're good. Sanford already having a hard time in the pit, just trying to sustain. Kirk goes forward. Curtain call thrown at Carl Tizzy, forcing the traceless. See, Kirk jumping forward already forced Carl Tizzy to pop his traceless, which is his CC immune ability / dash away. That's how YSS players survive. And despite the wins that Team Liquid Philippines has gotten through kills, they can't get the objectives. King Kong with a Phantom Execution in. Oh yeah, I remember that. We had a reaction to it. But then Super Friends, here comes his revenge. Pop the Feathered Airstrike. King Kong able to get away. Here comes Kelra. Forces Oheb back. Yo-Yo Blitz again. Kirk goes back. But then all of that again happened with Kelra not there. So once Kelra shows up, Team Liquid Philippines like loses the sequence in the long run. Move forward, and you see here they're both trying to just jockey for position around the map, trying to find wins, positional advantage, any little thing. Team Liquid Philippines' lead wasn't existent. It wasn't like a massive lead. It was like 1K, so very close. So we see again in the fight. And let's look at King Kong. Let's look at Kirk Brusco. Look at the very focused attention Brusco has onto Carl Tizzy. He's just going after Carl. He'll stun Sanji. Carl Tizzy's still going to be able to win the retry. Brusco goes down. Here comes the counter by Liquid. Feathered Airstrike as a deterrent under the Zaman Force. Surprise turnaround by Onic as Super Friends times his Feathered Airstrike perfectly yet again. But Team Liquid are still alive. JP forced to flicker out. But what could have been a massive win for Team Liquid Philippines became a win, but not massive. They still ended up losing members. All in thanks to Super Friends timing his Feathered Airstrike perfectly, just waiting. Okay, next major sequence. Let's look at this.
Yeah, that hurt. Oh,
That's just one arrow, but wait a minute.
Now this is really gonna hurt. Brusco needs to run away from this. Storm Rose lands onto JP.
Yeah,
Still has the quicksand guard though. So
all right.
he's still alive.
Curtain call again. So, one of the low-key things about this game is Kirk's performance on the CC. Just getting curtain call off on the right target. Forcing reactions. Again, it doesn't always need to amount to kills. As an EXP laner, if your targets in the backline or the carries, you force them to use dashes, their utility and survivability ability. Oh, so it's the survival abilities. There we go. Battle spells, anything. You've done your job. You've given vision. You forced out things. You've done your job. Similar things for roamers. And Kirk just showed up to work here. Brusco's gonna get caught out. Forces reaction. But King Kong still able to get the Lord. And let's see how that happened. Team Liquid Philippines turned their attention instead to Brusco. Carl Tizzy in range. He pops Traceless. But that was just a Retribution battle win for for King Kong. Wow, that was down to the pixel. I wonder if we can see here, like, who... Oh, that's tough. Was it literally a split second? You're gonna hear me, like, pressing my space bar very quick. Because I want to see... Ah, yeah, there we go. Just late by half a second, I think. See, King Kong already uses. Carl TZ hasn't popped his yet. So yeah, just a bit late for Carl. Yeah, half a second. Just half a second difference. The Team Liquid were able to get that Lord. It would have been an even worse scenario for Onic, considering that they've already lost 2. Good thing that Keller and King Kong were able to, like, push back and split up the battle. King Kong, instead of helping Brusco, decided to turn his attention to helping Kelra instead. To try and take down Oheb. Good trap here set up by KK. Great reaction by Oheb. That is just damn good. That is solid micro... Look. Zaman Force. Okay? King Kong's here. Okay? Look. Kelra dashes forward. Gets a vision. Alright. King Kong. Phantom Execution. Oheb. Just able to flicker out in time the moment he saw that. Quick reactions. But of course, with Onic being able to get the Lord through King Kong's retry battle win, they take control of the map. Team Liquid are able to find a little bit of a reprieve here at the center. They all gather as 5. Onyx lineup here. You want them to find pieces to pick off little by little. If it's a really tight formation, I mean, good for the CC, good for the Farsa, but you'd want a little bit of an avenue where Brusco's coming in from the flank that they can separate. Because a very honest front to back might not be as good, like let's say for Kelra. Because the Raging Sandstorm can just pick them, see? Little by little, if they can find an advantage to pick, they'll find that advantage. Second Lord of the game. Let's see how they dance this. So Team Liquid Philippines get priority around this Lord. They're using the new broken walls, man. So funny. They're, instead of just typically fighting around here, they're fighting around here. So weird to see, but hey, Project Next literally opening up new possibilities. JP coming in from the wings. But it's not like a very clear angle of who you're going to Raging Sandstorm into. He tried to get Kelra, but Kelra dashed over the wall. Brusco coming in from behind. Hard focus there onto Oheb. Kirk with a curtain call. Finds Carl TZ again. Brusco is so focused onto taking down Oheb. King Kong gets the Lord without a problem. JP's going to fall down trying to run away. Team Liquid Philippines lose a lot. Again, sheer hard focus. And it's tough because as much as you think about Khalid and Juicin as heroes who can provide a lot of control, and understandable why Team Liquid Philippines decided to pick the Uranus here, because the lineup of Onic PH are very ultimate heavy. But the thing is, it's that raw damage profile. You can think about the X's and Y's as much as possible. But the simplest formula you look at in MLBB is more damage, especially in the recent metagame, the past few months. More damage, more win. No matter how good you are at sustaining your multiple layers of this and that, more damage, more win. Onic takes game 2. So this video has gone on long enough, and I'm just gonna let the last few minutes of game number 3 play in the back here, because game number 3 was pretty much a stomp. Brusco ended up with the Mathilda Bruno as the last 2 picks on the blue side by Onic was just chef's kiss, really good. Playing around the Farsa, Lancelot as well, Phovius. This game for Onic was built on the idea of let's play fast, let's end fast, let's not allow this to drag out. Let's just smother Team Liquid Philippines in the map. Don't give them any inch of room to work with. And that's what happened with King Kong getting his 3rd straight game Lancelot game in a row. Carl TZ forced to play into the YSS. Team Liquid Philippines just played around the idea of, well, let's see if we can just drag this out a little bit longer. Yes, they have the Harith and the Lapu Lapu with them. Two heroes that are also known for being able to scale relatively quickly and be a pain in the ass very fast. But when the other side is supplemented by not a Farsa. Okay, let's just add Farsa in there. The Farsa, the Matilda, and the fact that Oheb was just absolutely destroyed in lane by Kelra, not only just because of Kelra's individual performance against Oheb, where it was eventually to reach to like a 3,000 gold lead between the two gold laners, but at the same time, Onyx focus into making sure that Kelra can get out of lane quickly with the smart rotations, and the fact that if you're playing up against Matilda, most of the time, you are lagging behind in terms of the rotations. Onyx just played this so well. So again, if you haven't been able to watch it, I encourage you to. And don't forget to like and subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about the channel. We do this at least once a week for the reviews. And then I have other videos, shorts, reels coming out as well on Instagram and whatnot. So look out for those, even on Facebook. So thank you so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Take care always and fight for what you believe in. See ya.